Well, here we are back in the garage again, and I can hear you saying, whoa, whoa, hold on a minute. Those carburetors are all back together again. Basically they are, almost. I tell you what happened. I was having difficulties with my computer at home, and I did a lot of recording last night as I was putting the float bowls back on again, needle and seat and jets and stuff in there, and I put the diaphragms and springs and all back in here. I took the whole thing home last night, and my PC just wouldn't work, so I lost all the footage. Now we still have to get these O-rings on. These arrived by Amazon today. These O-rings fit here onto the fuel feed pipes, so I'll be taking this carburetor off to do this pipe, and I'll take that carburetor off and I'll show you how to do that pipe. Plus also there's a bit of footing about to do to get the synchronizing screws and wee springs and all back into place, which is tedious, I know, because I did it last night and it nearly put me around the bend. Right, well, so first of all, what we'll do, these are very specific O-rings. I didn't know O-rings could be so specific. These are 9mm internal diameter, 13mm external diameter, and they have a 2mm cross section, and hopefully they will fit perfectly onto these fuel feed pipes, and then we'll have no leaks, because that was my worry. If you put these carburetors together and put them back onto the bike and they leak, you just feel like throwing yourself off a cliff. So hopefully that'll not happen with these new O-rings. I think we'll just do one at a time. I get my wee picker tool, my pick tool. I call it a picker tool, but it's actually a pick tool. Snap on pick tool. Two O-rings. And get rid of the old one. Gently remove it without. Oh, see that? There you are. They were just far too brittle. Oh, that's perfect. I know it. It's a perfect fit. These ones here, they had a flat edge on them where they'd been compressed inside a hole for 34 years. Now they're all breaking now. Right. It says when you refit these back into their respective orifice to give them a bit of lubrication. I think I'll go with silicone spray. It's just so they don't, you wouldn't catch the rubber. Let's get that one in. Oh yeah, do you hear that? We taste onto that. Right, now the business of lining all these things up, I'm actually going to remove this wee synchronizing spring, because it only gets in the road until the whole job's done. In fact, I'll have to take that. I'll screw this back out of the road. And I'll set that little spring there. This gives us a larger gap to get this entered in. That's where that goes. Put a wee bit of lube onto the choke operating lever, which goes through that hole. I don't know much of this, you can see that has to go in there. This is the gap we have to make up. There you go. That's it in. And everything is roughly in place. What I'll do is I'll put this retaining screw on the side here just to hold it roughly in place so things don't sort of fall all over the shop. I'll not tighten it up too much, it's just to keep it roughly in place. That'll do it there. Right, well that's that one done. I'll take this one out. Same detail. I have removed the choke operating arm of the plunger, so that'll allow this carburetor to slide to the side, hopefully. Yeah. There you go. Let's get this supply pipe out and remove these old O-rings. Two more. Lovely. A wee bit of lubrication. Slide that one in that way, that's it. You can probably see down there that tang has to go in there, so I have to spin this round and get rid of that wee spring again, similar to the other one, which I will do by unscrewing this screw. There we go. I think we'll turn this round towards us and try and get everything in place. That's the return. That's the supply. Oh, do you hear that? There's nothing like a nice resounding clunk. Okay. Put this screw in to hold everything in place. Okay, that's the basic shape. There was one. This small spring goes in here between these two. I thought these would have been located slightly better, but they're just in there and they just kind of hold themselves in place. Now getting this wee spring back in is good crack. You're kind of working against yourself the whole time. I think we'll do the easier one first, which is this one, because you get a better view of it. It has to slip in there. The two springs thankfully are the same. So this goes Oh, it goes in there. It goes in that gap anyway. Just getting it in. If you've ever tried to fit a bypass hose on a 1978 Mini, you'll know the sort of problem we're in. It's like trying to make a quart fit into a pint pot. There we are. That's that one in. I'll screw the screw goes up the middle of it, and that holds it in place. These are the screws that are used to synchronize the carburetors, which I'm going to have to do once I get the whole thing together anyway. I'll have to borrow a set of vacuum gauges. Right, I think we're just about to get it in. Famous last words. I have it set there, just have to push it down and across a bit to get under that screw. Yeah, there we go. Slide it over a hair and put the screw down to hold it in place. Right, that's that bit done. The next thing we'll do is, these are the little choke operating levers which slip on here and swing round onto the plunger like that. I'll not tighten any of this until I get the whole air intake thing on. I'll just run them up a wee bit. Do one on the far side as well. There's the plunger, that would be the choke on, choke off. And again, just set that on there, swing it round, and I'll just, oops, just nip it up. That bit. If you remember rightly, I had some crack getting this off, and obviously things haven't really changed. I would say I'm going to have the same difficulty getting it back on again. There are dowels that have to slip into the holes, and that's the old thing about the because of the V, the carbs are in a V. The further down you go, the tighter it gets. It's the same when you're putting the carburetors back onto the bike. You're trying, the gap is getting smaller the further you go in, and it makes it extremely difficult. Two in. Those two are in. Now just these two. I don't see that it has to go over that. Ah! That was the resounding clunk. Oh, what do you like? You spot the deliberate mistake? I think the expression is duh. Right, let's go again. O-rings now fitted. One that way and that way. And that way. And not so much of a clunk of it now because the O-rings are kind of filling the gap. Let's get these screws in. quite a gap at that one. There you go, that's better. Tighten the screws up a bit more. Had you a dump there, did I? That's the air intake on. What I'm going to do is these screws at the side, I'm going to put some locking seal under those so that they don't come slack. This stuff's just it's like glue, and once you put the screw in, it stops it coming out again. You can screw it out when you need to, but it'll never fall out. So we'll just enter that in there. And the same on the other side. We'll use the bigger screwdriver just to tighten these up for the final time. Give them that last wee bit of torque. And then I just have to bend those tabs over. I'll give those a wee tap down with a drift. You see that get in there? Bit of dust. All you woodworkers out there, don't be going nuts. I know I'm using a mallet where I should be using a hammer, but I don't have a small hammer. Ooh, misses. That's it. You can possibly see that throttle butterfly is way too far open, as is that one. So there's a few adjustments. The carburetor synchronization is to do with the amount of gap there is in these butterflies. I think this carburetor here, the one with the idle screw at it, is the... no, something not right here. That should go back to the stop. That butterfly should come right back flush because the throttle stop screw is nowhere. You see the throttle's not returning right back, it should come down. So we'll have to figure out why that's not coming down. I've spotted the error of my ways. Basically this is called the synchronization spring, and this is the synchronization screw, I had the spring on this side of that lever, and it should be on the far side in there. So I'm going to try and fit it now in here. It's a bit of a tight squeeze. I'll do it with my finger. There you go. Ooh, caught me. And then the screw goes in here. It's 5.5 turns, which I think is just about, yeah, there. Half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5. That was the original position. If you look now, the butterflies are all in a fairly similar position. Let's just check the throttle opening. Hopefully the throttle will go back to the stop. Yep, that's the throttle stop. That's how you adjust your idle speed. So I'll screw that back a wee bit. Make sure the throttles are closing properly. Yep. And bring that up into contact. And half a turn. And just once again, we'll just check the choke operation. It's nice and smooth. And that, gentlemen and ladies, fairly much concludes that. That's the carburetors back together, and I'm going to have to take them down to my other garage to get them fitted onto the bike. And that's it. It's a wrap, as they say in the business. Let's go get them fitted.